Hey friends, welcome to the Candid Lens once again. Today in this video, we're going to be discussing about nurses on TikTok that are ranting that despite going to school and spending thousands and thousands of dollars to study nursing, they're working as a full-time nurse, probably in the hospital at the outpatient center, and they're still broke. And inflation is getting to them and they don't know what to do. A lot of them are putting in the hours, more than 40 hours a week, more than 50 hours a week, and they're still broke. I know it is not easy to take care of other people and to take care of patients in the hospital, but doing this 12 hours every day for 3 or 4 days or 5 days in a week and still not being able to make ends meet, that's really a problem. Let's listen to some of them and what they have to say.
We both have good jobs. I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse. I work full-time. He works full-time. We just got paid this past Friday, right? We paid the mortgage. Bought some groceries. Put some gas in the car. And guys, it is Tuesday. And we have like $200 or $300 to last us until next Friday. Like, we don't live in a big house. We live in a little ranch. It's 1,100 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, us and our 2 kids. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Growing up, we were told, go to college, get a degree, work to support your family. Here we are. Did that. Now what?
Can anyone explain to me why there has been a 43.79% increase in inflation since 2010 to 2024 today, and there's only been about a 20% increase in the average nurse wage? In 2010, we as nurses were averaging about a $60K a year salary. Now we're averaging a nice $80K. That's only a 20% increase, but our friend here, inflation, has increased double that. Oh, and also, I'm a nurse who works in Florida, and when I was working my bedside nursing job, my salary was around $60K. You're telling me I was making the wage of a 2010 nurse? Baby girl, it's been 14 years. You're telling me we haven't gotten a raise in... Let's do the math. It's absolutely insane, and it makes sense why I can barely afford groceries, and when I was living alone, I couldn't even afford rent, and I'm a nurse. I went and got a degree. When I was in high school, I remember teachers, family, friends, they're like, oh, like, you're gonna be making the bank, like, you're a nurse, like, good for you choosing a degree like that. I could make more money walking dogs here in South Florida than I can working in a hospital as a nurse. That's an issue. You're literally keeping people alive. It's like I was feeling crazy because I'm like, am I just spending like outrageous amounts of money on like food and living life? No, it's this. Like, it's literally proof. I was just talking to a friend who is a nurse, and she was saying how she literally has 3 jobs to just sustain life. 3 jobs.
Somebody said, is $30 good as a new nurse? Have you seen the cost of inflation? The cost of living? $30 an hour is the new $12 an hour, just to let you know.
My biggest takeaway from the video I posted about the pros and cons of being a nurse in Los Angeles is that everywhere is expensive. I pay $2,700 for my rent. I have a 1-bedroom, really an elevated studio. I have in-unit washer dryer. I have a front desk with a doorman and a lobby. I have a rooftop pool, fire pit, gym, happy hour every Thursday, bottomless mimosa brunch every Saturday and Sunday. And then I pay an additional $200 a month for valet parking. I'm learning that those prices, that's giving almost every major metropolitan city in the United States. It's giving Miami, it's giving New York, it's giving DC, it's giving Chicago. Everywhere you go at this point, $2,500 seems like the minimum. You got apartments in Ohio for $1,800, almost $2,000 to live in Ohio. Are you kidding me? everywhere is expensive. Inflation got us fucked up. And so yes, LA is expensive, but so is everywhere else. But not everywhere else pays like California. And to see that, you need to be looking at these cost of living calculators. Now, my friend Chrissy just posted this on her Instagram story. You should be following both of us on Instagram if you're not. But this is the average nurse's pay adjusted by the cost of living for 2023. And these are your top 7 states. Georgia is number 1 with the hourly average nursing wage being $40.95. Adjusted for the cost of living, that comes out to $45.54. California is second on the list with the average nurse's wage being $64.10. Adjusted to the cost of living, it's $45.14. And then you see New Mexico, Texas, Nevada, and Minnesota. These are the top 7 states adjusted for the cost of living that nurses get paid the highest.
I have a question. Nurses, are y'all making money or no? It's too much disparity that I'm seeing. On one end, I see people like that Asian nurse, Nurse Alex, saying they're broke, they're struggling. This lady, broke, struggling. Then I'm seeing Nurse Brat in Dubai, designer down.
There should not be this much of a pay disparity between nurses, but let me tell you, number 1, why there is, number 2, how you can stay on top of it when you become a nurse or if you are a nurse, and number 3, how I've always lived very, very well even before I became a nurse practitioner. Number 1, staff nurses will always get paid the least. It is because they're waiting for a 1 to 2% performance-based raise every single year. If you are per diem or if you were job hopping, on average, you're making 20 to 30% more than those people. And if you're per diem and you're not traveling for work, you don't have to incur any additional expenses. And we all don't have the same expenses. Do you know in America, it costs on average $1,300 per child per month? So when you have kids, yeah, you can afford to take a trip every other month because you have extra surplus money. Now let's talk about how you can stay ahead of the curve. When you negotiate, part of negotiations when you are a nurse is knowing what most nurses on average are making in your area. I highly, highly, highly recommend going to Vivian and using this free salary tool. You don't even have to sign up. It tells you on average how much you should be making in your state, and it's not just for nurses, it's for every single discipline in healthcare. Even before I became a nurse practitioner, I was living very, very well. Part of it was because I was working per diem. So, of course, you already get more money from being per diem and not a staff nurse. But I was taking a trip almost every other month. I didn't have to use PTO because I could just schedule myself off. But you can see trip after trip after trip. And when you plan in advance, it's very easy to do these trips. Also, a lot of times, I'm either traveling for free on points because I'm using my credit card rewards, or I'm getting upgraded for free because I'm a Delta Diamond girly.
If you are considering going to nursing school, let me discourage you.
Okay, don't come for me. I know my hair and my eyebrows look crazy. Anyways, I saw this on my For You page today and I really wanted to comment. I am in 100% agreement with this sentiment. If someone inquired with me today and said, hey, you're a nurse, would you recommend becoming a nurse? I would say absolutely not. If you don't know me, my name is Michaela and I work at a pretty big metropolitan level 1 trauma center. I've spent most of my nursing career working at the bedside. I worked on a cardiothoracic vascular surgery floor. We would get pretty sick patients on that floor. We would put them on cardiac drips. It was a 1 to 4, 1 to 5 ratio, but at other hospitals, it might be considered what some know as a step-down unit. I will tell you right off the bat, there's a big difference in nursing from when I was a brand new nurse, even though that was only about 7 years ago. I think at that point, nursing was already headed in a direction for change, but COVID was a big catalyst, and now we're seeing the effects of that change in the nursing profession. There's currently a big shortage of nurses, which is definitely a major factor in what's going on at the bedside now, but it's not because we don't have enough nurses. It's because we don't have nurses that want to work at the bedside. And a lot of that has to do with the horrendous staffing and abuse that we face from families, patients, sometimes even medical providers and other nurses. On top of that, nursing has always been a physically demanding job, especially if you work at the bedside. Not only are you lifting, turning, pushing, pulling patients, but you're on your feet for 12 hours, sometimes more, especially with how staffing is. I'm sure people are working way past the 12-hour point.
On top of that, it's emotionally and mentally draining. Nurses have extremely high rates of PTSD as well as high rates of suicide. So in my opinion, it's really not worth going into the nursing profession. I just don't see the benefit. And yes, nursing is absolutely a rewarding profession. I really love taking care of patients and helping people, but I don't know if I would do it again considering the negatives that come with being a nurse. So if you're really dead set on going into healthcare and you want to work in a profession where you can help people, look at other jobs in healthcare that you could do. I personally think ultrasound tech could be a great avenue for a lot of people. I say this because a lot of community colleges actually offer 2-year degree programs for ultrasound techs or radiology techs. Now, this is just a screenshot from Glassdoor, but this is the average pay in Florida for ultrasound tech with 1 to 3 years of experience. That's like more than what I was making as a brand new nurse. On top of that, there's like other specialties you can do as an ultrasound tech, like cardiac, OB, neurology. I think nursing is just not the move right now, not with how nurses are being treated. It's not worth the mental and emotional damage. It's not worth it. Don't do it.
If you only take one thing from nurse TikTok or watching nurses on TikTok, let it be this. Life is too short and nursing has too many opportunities for you to stay in a job that makes you miserable. It is never too late to switch specialties, switch hospitals, switch states. Literally, the possibilities are endless for nurses, so don't be stuck in a job that makes you hate going to work every day.
You hear people say that nurses make no money, and then you also hear people say nurses make way too much money, which that's crazy. I think that there is a lot of money in healthcare, but you just have to hustle. Like, the money is in the overtime. Like, I do not make much hourly. I went to college, okay? I do not make much hourly, but I make so much more money, and I live so much better and have so much more to do with because I pick up so much overtime. Like 4 to 6 shifts a month, girl.
All right, this is a PSA. If you are a younger person, or maybe you're like, hey, I want to change in careers, and you're like, I'm going to go back to nursing school. Don't fucking do it. Don't fucking go back to nursing school. And let me tell you why. I'm a nurse practitioner. I got out of the shit show that is nursing. There's nothing wrong with nurses. Let me make that really clear. There's nothing wrong with techs, with providers, with nurse practitioners, with MDs, DOs, nothing, right? There's nothing wrong with people that want to go to healthcare and help people. Like, there's nothing wrong with us. Let me tell you what the issue is. The fucking system, okay? The fucking system is a hot mess, and it is about to collapse on itself. I'm telling you now. I can see the writing in the mirror. Our country is turning into literally a third world country, like in terms of healthcare, and it is disturbing, y'all. I'm telling you right now, nurses get paid shit. They have terrible staffing ratios, and someone will die on your shift. And guess who they blame? Not the hospital system who has all the fucking money. They blame you, and they're gonna take your fucking license away. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Like, I don't care what anybody tells you, what any advisor tells you, and that, oh, you'll always have a job. Cool. You'll always have a job that risks your life, that ruins your sanity and ruins your mental health and is physically debilitating because you walk around for 12 hours a day, you don't pee, you don't eat, and everyone treats you like shit, and you get paid less than the fucking person at Target. Don't go to nursing school. Do anything else. I don't give a fuck. Go work at Target. Damn, it's better than what has become of our healthcare system. Don't do it.
In my opinion, anybody working in the healthcare sector definitely deserve a luxury life. But sometimes we have to be realistic about how much we can afford depending on what state we are working at. Some states like California definitely pay nurses on average about $130,000 per year, while other states like pay on average 60,000 to 100,000 per year. So Knowing this and knowing the states that you are, I feel like people need to look at what they're making or what their potential amount would be bi-weekly or probably per annum, and adjust their lifestyle to it. I know it's easier said than done, and I know this topic is very controversial. Some people would say even with budgeting, at the end of the day, they still cannot afford life just because of the inflation. I really sympathize with people who are in this situation, and I know that it doesn't sound normal for someone to work up to 70 hours a week, and then you're still telling them to find a side hustle or a side job. Where are they going to find the time to even take care of that side job and side hustle? In this point, I don't even know what to say. I really sympathize with them. I really feel for them because it's not easy. Everybody seems to be complaining about the inflation, ranging from all healthcare workers, nurses, radiologists, dentists. Everybody is complaining. I don't know what you have as your opinion. Can you kindly please put your opinion down in the comment section? And please, please, let's be respectful. Put in the comment section words of encouragement for people who are going through this situation, because it's not fair for you to be married and then you are a nurse, either you are the woman or the man, and then you have kids and you cannot really take care of them, and you still go to work every day or maybe 3 or 4 times a week, and they see that you're exhausted, and on the days that you're supposed to be sleeping at home, you're having the PTSD of going back to work, and you can't even, play or do anything outside of work with your children. Let's have a conversation in the comment section, and please let's be respectful. Let's give these our nurses that are taking care of us every day word of advice and word of encouragement for them to keep going. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Kindly click on the subscribe button if you have not subscribed, and if you have, thank you, and click the like button. See you in the next video. Bye bye.